Welcome back to Force on Linux Journal. This is Michael speaking. MX Linux is one of the most popular distros that builds on top of Debian, but it takes different avenues than Debian at various points to improve things. Today we're looking at MX Linux 21.3 with Xfce. So let's get it started. Have fun! MX Linux is based on a stable Debian base. In this case, it means Debian 11 Bullseye, and the primary interfaces are Xfce, KDE and Fluxbox, with Xfce being the major version. Actually, MX Linux is with round about 5 years since founding still a fairly young distribution. But you're getting more than just a little cosmetic color here and that's it. With the MX tools, MX Linux provides numerous little helpers, and together with good documentation and a lively community, a quite remarkable Linux distribution has emerged here whose roots lie in Greece. Like version 21, the codename of MX Linux 21.3 is Wildflower. The underlying version 21.3 was released on 15th of January 2023. What's new? Debian 11.6 Bullseye package base, new and updated applications, Xfce 4.18, KDE version is now fully AHS capable, updated firmware packages, translation fixes for the MX apps. It should be briefly mentioned at this point that MX Linux 21.3 is not a new major release, but only the third update of MX Linux 21. So here comes ostensibly bug fixes, kernel and application updates. Let's check the technical key points. The minimum requirements of MX Linux 21.3 are the follows: 8.5 GB disk space, better 20 GB or more, 1 GB memory, better 2 GB or more, i386 and AMD 64 CPU architecture, DVD drive or USB port for installation media. The distribution model is Debian style static with point versions. There is support for 32-bit and 64-bit architecture. As package management, you can work with apt. The native package format is the classic Debian package. The installation of MX Linux is designed to be simple. The medium is checked for compatibility at the beginning. We have to take care of the partitioning with the wizard, create a user, specify the keyboard layout and your time zone, etc. And then it takes a few minutes until the wizard is done and asks you for a reboot. After that, the freshly installed system boots up and you can start using it. It is as simple as that. The target group of MX Linux is clearly Linux desktop users. That means the distro concentrates on the Linux desktop and the included MX tools assist us clearly. The second point would be the users who indulge in static version distros. So if you're currently on a rolling distro and convinced of the principle, MX Linux should be a culture shock for you. But if you are using Debian or Ubuntu, then the difference is not that much. Let's come to the system measurement. My system clawed 6.7 GB from the disk. The need of memory settled at just under 550 MB of memory. On my system are 1970 Debian packages installed. At the time of producing this video, Xfce version 4.18 was pre-installed and provided. The Xfce interface, or rather the concept offered here, does not look like they are trying to reinvent the desktop. Let's not kid ourselves. But that is not a bad thing, because the desktop and the base together makes up the whole. Both are aimed at productive users. So it doesn't have to be the very latest app package as long as it is stable and reliable. This is exactly the Debian philosophy as well as the general LTS philosophy. Xfce just rounds that out. With Xfce, the bar offered on the left. At the bottom is the menu, followed by system indicators like volume, network or update notifier. At the top there is a quick access to turn the system off. Below that, pinned programs are arranged on one side, followed by currently open programs. Xfce's start menu has well-served concept and can be fine-tuned and customized. Updates are signaled via the MX Updater. Installing them is easy, but it's ultimately done via a terminal. Let's check the pre-installed software. We have Linux kernel 5.10, browser are Firefox and GNOME Web, Email client is Thunderbird, Office Suite is LibreOffice, and software container is Flatpak. The software selection is consistent and really not that bad. This means that, on the whole, a well-designed level of programs was pre-installed. Some of it seemed like a relic of the old days. For example, there's GNOME PPP or Xfce Burn. Yes, there may still be users who use them, but the masses probably don't need them anymore. There are also 4 games pre-installed. This is something I don't need, but I just mentioned it at this point. General helpers like Timeshift or Gparted can also be found under the system category. With this dynamic duo, it remains for me to mention that MX Linux still uses extended 4 file system by default during the installation. In order to use the full potential of Timeshift, however, Btrfs would be necessary, as this is the only way to run the snapshots well. MX Linux offers a different solution here with its tools. I do not rare it, but merely mention it. But friends of the well-kept toolbox, let's do not make a long time, let's open it. Let's open MX Tools. The MX Tools are the jewel of the distro. If you used to use SUSE Linux in the past, this is almost the YAST for Debian. We can draw from an incredibly rich pool of little helpers here. The Swiss Army knife for Linux desktop sends its regards. Let's start with Snapshot. I just mentioned that Timeshift can create bootable snapshot with Btrfs. Here you can create a bootable ISO image of your system. You can drag it to USB stick and either start it on another computer or use it as a manual backup tool. After that, you can drag the ISO via the MX Live USB Maker to the USB stick. This sounds promising, but it would be too much manual effort for me. I would prefer Timeshift with Btrfs, but it's up to you to decide. In the maintenance area, there are several maintenance tools. This ranges from a job scheduler to a user manager or boot repair. In the setup area, it gets more exciting at the desktop because here you can install, for example, NVIDIA drivers or codexes. If you want to change your desktop a bit, have a look at Tweak. Here you have extensive possibilities to change the theme as well as the desktop concept. For example, if you want to put the display panel on the bottom, then just click here and then apply, and then it moves down. This is now more like a Windows XP or Windows 7 like desktop style. More themes you will find here in the writer theme. I don't know, let's check Arc. Oh, that was Arc Dark. Now let's check Arc Light or Numix. As you can see, it changes immediately. Let's go back to MX Comfort. New software is available in the MX Package Installer. Admittedly, it does not look like GNOME Software Center or Discover in KDE, but more old school, but it works. You find your apps here too. But you already guessed it. It's more about function, not design. Via Repo Manager, you could also include other sources. For example, Debian backports, but that's another chapter, may worth to cover it in a separately post. The iDevice mounter allows you to connect your iPhone or iPad to the computer and then drag images over the file browser level. You can't sync your iPhone or iPad like you can with Finder on Mac OS or iTunes on Windows. This is not to MX Linux, but to Apple. You just should know that. I mentioned in detail in the overview what is new, that Debian 11.6 package base is offered. Now, it is not necessary to reinstall existing MX Linux 21 systems. It is enough to update regularly with the MX Updater to stay up to date, so there is no need for action. There is with MX Linux officially beside the Xfce edition still one with KDE, which is meanwhile at the same time an AHS edition. That stands for Advanced Hardware Support. Here a newer kernel than the Debian LTS kernel is delivered. So briefly summarized, the KDE edition is mandatory and AHS edition. The Xfce edition, you can choose to take the standard edition with Debian LTS kernel or the AHS edition with a newer kernel. If you want to be very Spartan, there is also a Fluxbox edition. And no, we are not at Doc Brown's Fluxbox compensator from Back to the Future, but at a MX Linux edition for very old and weak systems with very low graphic requirements and values. Either way, it's a trip down memory lane with the Fluxbox edition. A real speciality of MX Linux is the extensive and fully translated user manual. Here, everything imaginable is documented in detail on hundreds of pages. The categories on the left already give an idea how far-reaching this is, and it is offered in understandable language, particularly with step-by-step introductions for free. This is, next to the MX tools, a unique selling point of this nicely maintained distro. Other distros also offer documentation, but often via a wiki and only in English language. Here, translation in other languages is given, and those of you who are writing technical documentations know what a hassle it can be to actively maintain it in multiple languages. Here you can clearly see a huge heart full of passions, and for that I would like to say a big thank to you, the volunteers. You are doing a very great job. Let's come to the conclusion. MX Linux is and remains for some exactly what they are looking for, and for others boring as hell. And I even mean that in a positive way, because what can be considered boring is bottom line stability and reliability. Here we are at a workhorse, which is there to make your everyday work easier. You can work with it and don't have to waste time fitting with the system. It's more a tool than a toy. That's on top of the credit side. On the debit side is the choice of desktops and the design. GNOME, for example, is not officially offered, and you have to like the design in general to get fully involved with MX Linux. My personal taste is not met here because I use GNOME and I don't feel like fitting with it myself, and I don't have the time for that. But nevertheless, I feel the substance of the distro. It's a Debian base. It is stable and rock solid. And it looks much better and seems more lovely designed than, for example, Debian with Xfce, which is horror for me. The MX tools round it out, especially if you used to use SUSE and at some point you and SUSE or OpenSUSE parted ways. For me, MX Linux is something like the Debian SUSE for old, not OpenSUSE. It has been different charm. So, I would rather recommend MX Linux than Debian with Xfce or KDE, simply for the reason that MX Linux not want to represent a universal operating system like Debian does, but thanks to the universal operating system substructure of Debian, a special target group can be well addressed. What is your opinion on this? Gladly seen our experience values of MX Linux users among you. But even if you are using something else, I'm curious about your impressions. Please share them in the comments. Thank you very much for the kind attention. See you in a week if you want. You're welcome to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for free to stay tuned for more videos from me. See you then. Bye.